Welcome to Chris's weird, wacky, fun yaps, where I'll be explaining the plot of Epic the Musical for you. So maybe if you like this, you can listen to Epic the Musical. It is like such a good musical. Please, 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 I beg you, listen to it. So originally before this song, there is this part where they go on and fight the Trojans, and they have that war, which was started by Aphrodite. I'm not mad at you, I'm joking. Anyway, so they end up doing that fight, and Odysseus ends up dropping a baby off a building. That was really fun. It's so immersive and action-filled with this musical. I do really recommend it.
600 reasons to take what we can. So Captain, what's the plan? Captain, what's the plan? Watch where the birds fly. They will lead us to land.
I believe it was after this song and after it was after, but they end up grabbing a windbag so they can go home because there was a big storm. And then someone, Eurylochus, decides to open the bag because some guys called Winions explained that there was treasure in the bag when there really wasn't. It was just the winds that were trapped to keep the waves smooth, and there was no storm. So, yeah, that happened. There's also a lot more characters in Epic the Musical, like Telemachus and Antinous. Antinous is one of the suitors, and Telemachus is like Odysseus' son. They have a whole part where Telemachus and Athena become friends, even though like Athena wasn't really set on having friends. So that also happens. And Antinous has a pretty big fight with Telemachus. So they end up on this island where they go and find a lotus eater, and then they ask for food. And the lotus eater says that they can eat the lotus, but Odysseus knows that the lotus will trap them. So he decides not to eat the lotus, and then gets the lotus eaters to show him where other food is, which was in a cave. So they end up going to that cave. So they arrive at the cave and they find a bunch of sheep everywhere. They decide to kill a sheep, but then something comes out from the shadows of the cave, and it was a Cyclops, and the Cyclops was very mad that they killed the sheep, his sheep. So the Cyclops ends up hurting Polites. So then Odysseus is very mad at that. So Odysseus decides to blind the Cyclops instead of killing it, so they can actually leave the cave without getting stuck. And you know who's mad about this? So basically, Athena gets mad at him, and then Odysseus decides to spite her and say, "Hey Cyclops, here's all my information." And then the Cyclops goes on and tells his father, and then Odysseus is screwed. The end. As they head back home, something happens. They soon figure out that Poseidon is actually the Cyclops' father, so they are really screwed. Poseidon ends up killing most of his men, leaving only 48 left. They decide to recruit to an island. On this island, they find a woman named Circe. She had decided to turn Odysseus' men into pigs because she didn't want them hurting her nymphs. Eurylochus was afraid of this woman, so he said that we should run instead of fighting. But Odysseus gives this great speech about how he would save him even if that was the case. So he hoped that Eurylochus would do the same. I hate not reading off the script, this is really hard. Hermes hears this and is really amazed by Odysseus' huge, beautiful speech. So he decides to help. Hermes gives him this magical flower and says that if he eats the root and digests it, that he'll manifest a being of his creation. As Odysseus digests this root, which is called Holy Moly. He goes and fights Circe. Circe decides to play the little innocent witch she is and says that she only revealed their true forms, even though she just turned them into dicks. As they play, Odysseus ends up winning, but Circe gives him another chance by persuading him. It talks about how there's many ways of persuasion. Odysseus refuses to act on Circe's persuasions, and so Circe accepts that he has won officially, and he sends him off to the underworld where there is a prophet which will tell him what will happen. So this prophet goes on and tells Odysseus that most of his crew is going to die.
I am the prophet.
And Odysseus finds it unreasonable and completely useless to actually go on this mission, and that his efforts were worth nothing. Odysseus's crew ends up finding and coming across these sirens. They decide to plug their ears with honey and go and ask the sirens which way to go through Poseidon. They end up going to Scylla's lair in the process, where Scylla is a big monster, so she ends up attacking, but Odysseus decides to not fight back and just sacrifice 6 of his men by lighting up 6 torches. When they come back out, Odysseus's men, specifically Eurylochus, was mad that they sacrificed 6 men instead of fighting back. Eurylochus takes Odysseus's hand in a fight, and they end up knocking out Odysseus and sailing to another island. When they get on this island, they notice that there is a bunch of cows. Eurylochus decides to kill a cow, even though Odysseus begs him not to. This upsets the cow's owner, the sun god. It doesn't exactly explain which sun god, but I'm pretty sure it may be Helios, even though, like, the cows are originally Apollo's. But, like, Apollo didn't argue that his cows got killed in the god games, so I have no idea. So after all this happened, Zeus comes down and kills all of Odysseus' men and sends Odysseus to an island. This island had a beautiful woman on it who had never had a human interaction in years. So many years, like 12 years. I'm making up numbers, but anyways, so when she first sees Odysseus, she's like, oh my goodness, this man is so beautiful. And she tries asking him out, but Odysseus says that he is taken and has a wife and a kid at home waiting for him. So, well, Calypso continues trying and trying until, like, for 7 years she continues to try and try until Athena figures this out and is like, I cannot let this continue happening. I need Odysseus to get home. His son needs him. These men keep berating his wife to get married again, since they all believe Odysseus is dead.
Why not make it a game? Convince each of them that he ought to be released, and I'll release him.
Who's them?
Apollo! Hephaestus! Aphrodite! Ares! Hera! Or me?
Well, Athena ends up convincing them to let him go, and he ends up going on back home, but while he's in there, he ends up getting stopped again by none other than Poseidon.
So I can't go letting you walk, or else the world forgets I'm cold. Now get in the water. Get in the water.
So they end up having this big fight.
You're going to call off that storm.
Well, Odysseus ends up winning, and he heads back home to find out all these suitors are ransacking his place. So he ends up killing them all, and then he ends up hugging Telemachus, his son, and kissing his wife again, Penelope, because they've been waiting for so long. They all reunite and live happily ever after. The end.
Fall in love with me.
Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. You guys better watch Epic the Musical now. It's super amazing.